Welcome to another incredible episode of America This Week. 2020 has been a year for the record books, and it's barely halfway over. A global pandemic that created a whirlwind economy, a massive movement to end racial injustice, and to top it all off, it's a big election year. We've covered it on this show with guests you'll only see right here and conversations you won't hear anywhere else on topics you'll never see the mainstream media covering. The mean streets in America are getting meaner and meaner, and somehow the calls for defunding the police are getting louder and louder. It begs the question, are you sure you really want to do this? This past weekend, on America's 244th birthday, violence spread across the country faster and deadlier than any Chinese virus could. In Chicago, my hometown, 87 people shot, 17 shot dead. Sadly, Chicago is on pace for our deadliest year in history. Meanwhile, Chicago is in the process of defunding the cops to the tune of several $100 million. To New York, where bullets rained out, 64 people shot, 10 shot dead. New York is voting to cut $1 billion from the NYPD. In LA, they're cutting $150 million from cops' budgets. Anyone surprised that in the first week of June, homicides spiked 250%? Or Philadelphia, where shootings are up 67%, while the Philly police budget was cut by $19 million. How about Baltimore? Baltimore. USA Today ranked Baltimore number 3 in the most dangerous cities in America, just behind St. Louis and Detroit. Last year, Baltimore broke a record with 348 homicides. Baltimore is now on pace to smash that record this year. And you guessed it, Balto just slashed $22 million from their police budget. Now take a look at this video from New York City this week. Warning, this is a graphic video and may be disturbing. This guy was walking with his little baby girl. The man assassinated in broad daylight. Watch how the little girl is almost child victim number 7. I'll explain that number 7 in a moment. More than 200 Americans shot dead across the country last week. This doesn't look like America, folks. Our country has become unrecognizable. It's got to stop. You liberal mayors need to step up and stop catering to the anti-American criminal mobs shooting up our streets. Do you really not see the direct correlation between defunding the police and the escalating violence? Do you even care about the welfare of your citizens, or is it just about your re-election prospects? Do Black lives matter, or do black votes matter? I submit you care more about the latter over the former. Finally, check out this heartbreaking graphic of 4 of the 6 little children caught in the crossfire of gun violence in America last weekend alone. Sequoia Turner was just 8, shot as her mom turned into a parking lot in Atlanta, not far from the Wendy's where Rayshard Brooks was killed. Royta DeMarco Giles was 8. He'd just finished 2nd grade in Alabama. Devon McNeil, 11 years old, Washington, D.C., was shot when he ran into his grandmom's house for a phone charger. Natalia Wallace, Chicago, was 7, shot in the head while playing with her cousins in her own backyard. Babies shot dead, not 1, 6 of them just this past weekend, and nearly a 7th. All the cities I mentioned in this memo are run by very liberal mayors. They're all calling for their police departments to be defunded in some form or another. All are the most difficult places in America to legally own and carry a firearm for your own protection. Since I'm a common sense guy, I suggest you see the obvious correlation between liberal mayors and violent cities. And if you don't see a direct correlation, well, you're just not trying very hard. It begs the question, with America devolving into an abyss of violence, murder, and mayhem, why would anyone vote for more democratic policies like this guy? By the way, isn't that the guy who said of desegregating and busing black kids with white kids? And I'm quoting now, folks, unless we do something, my children are going to grow up in a jungle, that jungle being a racial jungle. Wow. Not sure, but isn't that racist? Or does old man Biden get a pass simply because he's one of those liberal Democrats? Where's the cancel crowd now?